The woman who mapped the sea floor, Marie Tharp, the scientist who saw the truth. No one else could. Have you ever been told that you couldn't do something simply because of who you are? Not because you lacked skill, not because you lacked knowledge, but because the world had already decided you didn't belong there. In the 1950s, science was a man's world, especially in oceanography. Ships sailed across the oceans, collecting data from the mysterious depths below. But women were not allowed on those ships. And yet, one woman changed our understanding of the Earth without ever stepping onto the deck. Her name was Marie Tharp. And today, every time we talk about earthquakes, continents, or the movement of our planet, we are standing on the map she drew. Marie Tharp was born in 1920 in the United States. Her father worked as a soil surveyor, traveling across the country to measure and map the land. As a child, Marie often watched him work. She saw lines become landscapes, numbers become meaning, and without realizing it, she learned a powerful lesson. The world can be understood if you measure it carefully. Years later, she studied mathematics and geology. It was not an easy path. At the time, very few women entered the sciences. Even fewer were taken seriously. But Marie had something rare: patience, curiosity, and a quiet determination that refused to fade. In the early 1950s, she began working at Columbia University as a research assistant. Her job sounded simple. She received numbers, endless columns of numbers, measurements collected from ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean. These numbers represented the depth of the ocean floor, but to most scientists, they were just data, cold, abstract, meaningless without interpretation. Marie saw something different. She saw patterns. Day after day, she sat at her desk, drawing lines by hand. No computers, no digital models, just paper, pencils, and patience. She connected point after point, depth after depth, profile after profile, thousands of measurements, thousands of decisions. It was slow work, the kind of work that requires discipline, stronger than excitement. But then, something strange appeared. A deep valley, running along the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Not a random feature, not noise in the data. A continuous line, a scar, stretching across the ocean floor. Marie checked her calculations again and again and again. The pattern remained. She had discovered something extraordinary. A massive underwater mountain range with a central rift valley. Today, we call it the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. But at that moment, her discovery challenged everything scientists believed. Because if the ocean floor had a rift, it suggested something radical. The Earth itself was moving. Continents were not fixed. They were drifting. This idea would later become known as plate tectonics, one of the most important scientific theories in human history. But when Marie presented her findings, she was not celebrated. She was dismissed. Some male scientists laughed at her work. One reportedly called her discovery girl talk. Not wrong, not unscientific, not inaccurate, just impossible, because it came from a woman. Imagine that moment. Years of careful work, mountains of evidence, and the response was ridicule. Many people would have stopped there. Marie did not. Instead, she did what great scientists always do. She returned to the data. She refined her maps, improved her drawings, strengthened her evidence. Line by line, she built a case too strong to ignore. Then, in the late 1950s and early 1960s, new sonar technology and seismic measurements confirmed her findings. The valley was real. The ridge was real. The movement of the Earth was real. And suddenly, the world changed. Her maps became the foundation of modern geology. They explained earthquakes. They explained volcanoes. They explained the shape of continents. They even helped scientists understand how mountains form and oceans expand. Today, every textbook, every classroom, every scientific model of the Earth traces its roots back to her work. And yet, for many years, her name remained unknown. Marie Tharp was not chasing fame. She was chasing truth. She believed something simple. Data tells a story if you are willing to listen. Not loudly, not dramatically, but patiently, carefully, relentlessly. Now think about the world we live in today. We are surrounded by data, financial data, medical data, climate data, AI data. Numbers flow through our lives like rivers, but data alone does not create understanding. It takes someone with curiosity and persistence to connect the dots. In many ways, we are all living in Marie Tharp's world now, a world where insight comes not from loud voices, but from careful observation, not from being in the spotlight, but from doing the work no one else wants to do. Marie Tharp never sailed across the ocean. She never stood on the deck of a research ship. She never saw the ocean floor with her own eyes. And yet, she revealed more about the Earth than those who traveled thousands of miles at sea. Because vision is not about where you stand, it is about what you see. Her story carries a powerful message for our time. You do not need permission to discover something important. You do not need recognition to do meaningful work. And you do not need to be in the field to change the world. Sometimes, the greatest breakthroughs happen quietly, at a desk, with a pencil and a mind that refuses to give up. Marie Tharp proved something extraordinary. The impossible can be proven through data, and the truth does not care who discovers it. If this story inspired you, if you believe hidden heroes deserve recognition, and if you want to discover more people who change the world without fame or headlines, subscribe to Hope Reactor, because history is full of quiet pioneers, and their stories are still waiting to be told.